We're live. So it does work. Oh my god, everything's running smoothly. But of course not. Fucking. Hold on. Video reacts. So I have like a second camera just right here to the left of me, but I can't see it. Try to see. Especially everything's red. Good. Try to see. Especially everything's red. Good. Try to. Hello, 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 hello. Especially everything's red. Good. Try to. Hello, 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 hello. Hello. Especially everything's red. Good. Try to. Hello, 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 hello. Hello. Especially everything's red. Good. Try to. What is this? AirPods on. The AirPods never lie, so let's see if this works. There's definitely something wrong with the audio, but I don't know what. It could be. Hmm. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, 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 hello. What's the audio so shit, dude? Hello, 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 hello. Hello? I'm guessing this works now. The thing that it doesn't sound as good as I think it should be. Let's try this one. Mic box. Should come out of this one, but I don't know why it's like that. Sorry. Oh, it's for speakers though. This for speakers though. Oh my god. Alright, try something. Oh my god, dude, this is stressful trying to figure out how to stream. It's hard. It's just not something. probably the worst fucking audio ever. Mm. It's like this looks like freeze behind it.
Hello. Or you know what? I think this is way better, but still something's not right with here. Oh my god. It's not fully plugged in. Like something here. I'm not sure what's happening, but please come on now. Log in. Hello, 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 hello. Alright, I think this might be the audio that we need. Audio input capture. Alright. An audio input capture over here. Alright, so now let me try it from over here as I'm speaking normally. Does this affect it? Yeah, I think it affects a little bit. Let's put it at 50. Hello. Oh yeah, I think it works. Perfect. All right, I'm just trying to see how everything works here, dude. Cause this. All right, let's see. All right, just work. Perfect. Back to normal scene. Taking these off now. Oh, but I need to see if the audio works too. Check desktop audio. All right, so let's see. Let's just say we react to a random video, cause oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. What do I click out of here? We'll be fine. Just click out of that video, then I'm pretty sure we'll be fine. Alright, let me try out with these headphones on now. Now let's react to some videos, cause yeah, man. There's not much, so much I can do here. Let's alright now I have one screen. Now let's try having the other one on the side, cause it is actually pretty annoying. Just having to deal with all these different screens, but you know it's our first day. We're trying to learn, you know. It's part of it. Trying to learn and failing a bunch of times, especially with audio apparently. And this computer on the side that has no audio apparently because I don't know why. Just doesn't want to work with audio. All right, David Serrano streaming live, and now I don't know what to watch, but a few channels over here. But anyways, let's see what we got. Hmm. All right. I saw this the other day, and I thought they were pretty cool, honestly. I remember seeing one that said like that why the UFC is why the UFC life is miserable. So let's see. Sucks to be a UFC fighter. Yeah, it was this one. There's two. Oh, that's cool. This one's older. This one's new one. Damn. There's like different channels I want to post like the similar content, I guess. But huh. Alright, let's see what's up. Miserable life.
Same old phone? Nah. Upgrade to the new Galaxy Z Fold 7.
What would you say to somebody that hasn't tried therapy before?
Just ask yourself if what you're doing in your life right now is working. If you have peace, if you have good relationships with loved ones, or if you have healthy boundaries, if you're able to put your head on your pillow at night and just fall asleep, if you've got control of your marriage or your parenting, if what you're doing is working, then maybe you don't need therapy. But for most of the people I talk to, they don't know what the next right move is.
It starts way
Alright, now this sucks. Because now I can't hear. Yeah. Alright, it works.
before the walkouts, way before the weight cuts, way before.
Dude, this sucks. Why can't I hear anything, dude? So now that we have the audio working on the stream, now what doesn't want to work is the actual audio of the video. Like you guys can probably hear, but I can't. So how does that work? Let me try something. I'm gonna try something. Alright.
Before the crowds.
Oh, I can hear now. That's perfect. Now let's see. Let's see. So now I have to wear these headphones though, and they're not as long as. Fuck, dude, but they're not really long. They're like, they barely like reach me, dude. So now how's this gonna work? Well, this whole thing is just annoying, dude. Oh, I know what to. Hold up. Hold up. Does anybody watch me? Nah, I don't think so. Nah. Alright.
It starts in the basement. You were.
Hello? Oh, that didn't work. That did not work at all. Let's see if there's maybe something here in the back. Plug it into. And no, there is not. So now might be cooked. This is fun. Nothing here. Need the light again. What happens if I plug it up over here? There's like a little button over here. Hello? Oh, that's not changing the. Hello? Hello, 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 hello. Hello, 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 hello. Alright, well. That definitely did not work. But now I know what works. Now I just need to. This works. Let's see it. How I'm doing it right now, this works. Pretty much. But like in a way that's annoying. Like it works but in an annoying way. So hold up. What the hell? Nope. No. I'm trying to put F1. Alright. Now let's see if this works now. Then again, I'm just going to go ahead and OBS and then just increase this and increase this. There you go. Now it should be like the regular audio. And also I'm gonna increase this too. Oh, put it 100. Okay, interesting. I don't know when that happened. Alright, that works. Alright, full screen.
10, maybe 11. Watching old UFC DVDs your uncle left behind, grainy fights with Tito Ortiz, GSP, Chuck Liddell. You didn't understand the rules, didn't know what an underhook was, but you knew this. It felt like something real. No pa-
Alright, this is a little too loud. So now what we have to do is just go here. Desktop audio, put it a little bit down, and yeah. Oh, but this is gonna be annoying if I keep switching. Hold up, so go over here. One. No. Just testing something out. That works. Now what if I put this? Alright, I'm gonna have to ask ChatGPT how to get rid of F1s. ChatGPT. Chrome. Open link. What are these settings? Keyboard shortcuts. Yes. Alright, now I know what to do. We will have to just move some things around. Alright, see one. Apply. Okay, so let's just stop now. 1. Alright, full camera. 2, me. 0. I don't think I play anything for 3 hours. Starting soon. Be right back. Thank you for watching. Alright. Oh, no fade. Port fade. Alright. So, now that that's done, we can actually watch the video. Alright. First video of the day, I think.
Grainy fights with Tito Ortiz, GSP.
First video of the day, I think. Yep. Alright, everything's set up correctly. So now it should be finally able to enjoy and watch a video. Now, let's see. So also start recording just so that I can use this later. You know. Start recording. Alright. Now let's see. Is that good? This is
The speed and efficiency of the Fiverr freelancers has really been game changing for us. It's helped.
why is there always like a shortcut for fucking everything, dude? I'm just trying to watch a video.
It starts way before the walkouts, way before the weight cuts, way before the crowds. It starts in the basement. You were 10, maybe 11, watching old UFC DVDs your uncle left behind, grainy fights with Tito Ortiz, GSP, Chuck Liddell. You didn't understand the rules, didn't know what an underhook was, but you knew this. It felt like something real. No pads, no teams, just two people in a cage, locked in until one of them couldn't keep going. That stuck with you. While other kids were playing Madden or Fortnite, you were shadowboxing in the mirror, practicing roundhouse kicks with a ripped towel tied around your head like a bandana. You begged your mom to sign you up for karate, then wrestling, then BJJ. You were always asking for mouthguards for Christmas. You didn't want toys, you wanted gear. You were never the best athlete. Not the fastest, not the strongest, but you were the one who never quit. By high school, you had a reputation. You weren't the team captain, but you were the grinder. The one who'd stay after practice, who'd take the toughest sparring rounds. You weren't flashy. You were obsessed. You watched old pride fights like they were holy scripture. You started following the regional circuits, memorizing names of guys who hadn't even cracked the top 20. You kept a notebook of combos, a hit list of weaknesses. You watched The Ultimate Fighter like it was your shot too. Everyone else had a backup plan. You didn't. While your friends were applying to colleges, you were messaging promoters on Facebook, trying to get a spot on the undercard of some low-budget MMA show in a hockey rink with 12 people in the stands and 3 judges who were also the janitors. You fought for $500, sometimes less. You cut weight in your car, spitting into bottles and praying you wouldn't pass out before the scale.
Are we fucking serious, bro? Like, this fucking sucks, dude. It's just like so annoying. Hmm. I gotta fucking figure this shit out, dude. I'll start recording too. Alright, 1 second. So let's see how this works. File. Settings. I don't care that nobody's watching me like at all. Really what I need to do is just focus on getting the stream thing started. Do I need yours? Nah. Time is it? Holy shit, it's 3. Can't work at 5. Shortcuts. Use for okay, okay. So let's do that. Alright. Scene. With control 1. Control 1. Apply. Alright, let's see how this works. So thing, main one. This one is this. This one. This one. Alright. That's a lot better. This video kind of sucks. So, just skip it. It's not that interesting.
I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Thank you, President Donald.
Being an MMA fighter looks cool. The big
Alright,
stage,
try this one.
the big
New video. Why it sucks to be an MMA fighter in the UFC.
lights, the big moments. You picture glory, spotlights, and belts. But peel back the hype and find pain, poverty, and politics. You must look invincible, but you're one injury away from losing it all. You chase respect. But the world forgets your name the second you lose. Fans think MMA fighters live a Hollywood lifestyle, but 95% of fighters don't. Today, we break down why it sucks to be an MMA fighter, even when you're winning. Your social life is non-existent. Friends are going to concerts, weddings. You show up and they go, "There you are," before asking what happened to your eye. You're that guy at birthdays, wearing ice wraps and trying to explain why you can't drink grape soda, let alone beer. And people keep saying, "You just need to hydrate." Bro, hydration doesn't fix a haymaker to the face.
You know what?
You're black and blued for
Let's try this again. So, what I need is just to start recording. Oh, I need a start recording button. I already have one. F10, F11. Let's try this. We're streaming, so let's do F10. Oh, it works. Perfect. Alright, so let's start watching Why It Sucks to Be an MMA Fighter in the UFC. Let's start. Let's start play.
the big lights, the big moments. You picture glory, spotlights, and belts. But peel back the hype and find pain, poverty, and politics. You must look invincible, but you're one injury away from losing it all. You chase respect. But the world forgets your name the second you lose. Fans think MMA fighters live a Hollywood lifestyle, but 95% of fighters don't. Today, we break down why it sucks to be an MMA fighter, even when you're winning. Your social life is non-existent. Friends are going to concerts, weddings. You show up and they go, "There you are," before asking what happened to your eye. You're that guy at birthdays, wearing ice wraps and trying to
Dude, I remember like, cause I'm a person that does MMA, right? And I remember like, few. Hold up. Dude, I remember that I'm a person that does MMA, so I do like jiu-jitsu, MMA, like, kickboxing, literally everything that has to do with MMA. I don't do like anything like karate, just cause I'm not trained in it, and also I have no idea what they do really for karate. But I remember coming home and there was this one day that I went in for like a shot to the people that have no wrestling, they know what like try and go for like a double leg is, right? But the guy ended up like lifting his knee and he hit me right on the eye, and I remember that I was just on the ground, just grabbing my face just because it hurt so much. And I really thought that this guy just like this bone right here, I thought he broke it because it was just hurting so much. But next thing you know, like a few minutes later, it starts to get swollen. This little part right here, just this whole thing was swollen. And then I remember just sitting out for the side and then just thinking, this guy just gave me like a bruise. And I didn't know that like a few days later, like it started being like a bump, and then it just turned my whole eye like purple. It was like one of my first time having like a purple eye. But honestly, I don't know how dangerous they can be, because I'm pretty sure you can be left blind from like getting like hit like really hard. But honestly, it looks very cool if you get like a nice little purple eye, because that means that you've been like fighting. It also means that you probably got fucked up with the like I don't know, you got punched in the face or something. But it also does look pretty damn cool. But yeah. And I remember my mom didn't notice until like 3 days later, even though I was like sitting right next to her. She did not care at all. I don't think she cared. She just didn't know at all. She was just so focused like on her phone that she just never like really looked up to see like what happened to my eye. But yeah.
Explain why you can't drink grape soda, let alone beer. And people keep saying, you just need to hydrate. Bro, hydration doesn't fix a haymaker to the face. You're black and blued for shows, meetings, anything where being presentable matters. And let's not forget the emotional part. Fighting is a lonely job. You can't party because you're training the next day. Well, unless you're John Jones.
I literally would, 1 week before every fight, I would go out and I would get blacked out wasted.
Your friends post vacation photos while you've been living under gym lights for weeks straight. Hell, your phone battery lasts longer than your relationships. Then there's the mental game. Fear, doubt, self-loathing, an endless playlist on loop. And not everyone has a friend like Joe Rogan to tell you like it is on the biggest podcast in the world.
I think people would be surprised. Really? You think so?
Mm-hmm.
I think you'd be surprised.
Mm.
I really do. I think he'd fuck you up. And I say that as a friend and a guy who loves you.
Then you're in training camp. Every training session you think, what if I get knocked out again? It's like replaying the worst night of high school prom, over and over. Therapy is expensive.
Yo, another thing is that it really kind of sucks that even that you're an MMA fighter, you can really get like knocked out while you're training. Like there's a lot of fights that have like happened where you just like training and then you went for a big fight and then you get the news that the guy got injured or something like that because practice he broke his toe, he sprained his ankle or something like that like weeks before the fight. And I think that those things happen way more often than you think. But it's just part of the sport where you're just practicing it, but anytime something like that can happen. So that sucks. So honestly, yeah, MMA is just a brutal sport, and even doing it as a hobby is like one of the most dangerous. But then afterwards, like for example, anyone has done jiu-jitsu, like they know that after getting your first one stripe of being a white belt, bro, you feel like you're a hitman. Next you know that this guy that goes up to you, like you're pretty much like, yeah, you don't know this, but like, yo, I can fuck you up. But yeah.
Hello, my name is Adam Ferrari,
Oh my god.
Chief Executive Officer of Phoenix Energy. I look forward to you joining us.
Not to mention all the injuries. Sprained ankles, messed up shoulders, knee cartilage that sounds like Rice Krispies every time you stand. They pile up, and you ignore them until messed up
What
shoulders,
the fuck?
knee cartilage that's...
Look at his leg. That thing is bent. There's no way a leg should look like that. Oh my god, that is definitely his knee, his ACL, this whole thing in his knee is gone. Oh my god, who is this fighter? Why did he not tap? Why is he still going? What the fuck?
Sounds like Rice Krispies every time you stand. They
Oh.
pile up, and you ignore them until you're putting off walking downstairs. You're
Oh,
dependent
yeah.
on physiotherapy, and each injury comes with rest orders that no fighter can stand. Because resting means losing momentum, and losing momentum means losing your job. Between camps, your body's like a haunted house. You wake up stiff, groaning like you're 60. Your old friends are getting married, having babies, taking vacations. Meanwhile, your hobby is icing knees and choosing water flavor, electrolyte, or plain. Camps are 8 weeks of hell where you pay people to break you down physically and emotionally. You're basically going through the worst group project of your life, where every partner can throw head kicks. You're funding sparring partners, coaches, nutritionists, and that one dude who shows up to hold pads once a week and yell, "Breathe." By fight week, you're starving and arguing with your girlfriend because you can't taste your food, let alone deal with her emotions. Now let's talk weight cutting. Dehydration hell. You start dropping weight 2 weeks out. Water load, carb restriction.
Weight cutting has to be one of the worst feelings that someone can have when they're like training for a fight. Cause bro, I don't know if you've ever felt like when you're hungry when you haven't eaten for like a very long time, but bro, when you're at that level, you have to cut drastically because even like being off by like 2 pounds can even cancel your fight or give you like huge like fines for like being overweight, and that just sucks. But also just cutting weight in that little bit of time, like a lot of people do it. It's like mostly water weight that they cut, so they're able to lose like 15 pounds because most of the body is water. But these guys are just insane. Like I don't know how they are able to do it. I remember for like I did like wrestling in high school, and one night I remember cutting like 10 pounds in one night, just straight. Didn't eat, slept horrible. I was super dehydrated, but I made weight the very next day. And the worst part is that my opponent did not even fucking show up because he didn't make weight. And I just fucking lost my shit that day because I had to wait the whole day without eating for me to fight, and this guy didn't even fucking show up. I don't know where you are, but I really dislike you because I had to lose that much weight. I never had to cut that again because I ended up just like quitting the team afterwards, but doesn't matter. All right.
Sauna suits, low sodium diets, you look like a ghost. By fight week, you're guzzling water like someone handed you a fire hose. You need to make 170, but when the scale hits the target, you realize you're a dried out tortilla, ready to crack. You starve your body and fight hungrier than a toddler in Disneyland. But instead of eating cotton candy, you're eating punches. Imagine cutting 20 pounds in a week, risking your life just to hit a number on a scale. Weight cutting is legalized self-harm, and it's expected. If you can't make weight, you don't belong. And if the weight cut ruins your performance, that's your problem. Sleep is anything but restful. You're getting out-wrestled in your nightmares. You wake up soaked in sweat, heart pounding like you're late for a flight that doesn't exist. Then you pop caffeine, hit the gym, and the cycle continues. You wake up one day, and your ACL snaps, meniscus shredded. Minutes in surgery, months in rehab. Your bank account crumbles faster than my last relationship. If you want glory, prepare for 12 weeks of living like a diet-obsessed rat. During camp, you wake up at 5 a.m., even on holidays. You're doing road work like you're an 8-year-old chasing the ice cream truck. Then, 6 hours of drilling, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, and boxing combos you've memorized better than your own phone number. Your body begs for mercy while it snaps back punch after punch like an old rubber band. Your coach keeps barking, harder. Every night, you eat the same chicken, rice, broccoli combo as you dream of pizza. You fantasize about Hot Pockets like they're golden artifacts. Recovery? Ice baths. You spend half your time in freezing water, trying not to whimper like a kid whose Wi-Fi just died. Your body constantly reminds you that you broke every bone and ligament in the last 3 bouts. You get 0 sleep, and anti-inflammatories become morning coffee. Then, it's fight week. Your pancreas gets a runtime in hell called weight cut. You're up in the middle of the night, vomiting like a malfunctioning sprinkler. You could finish a 12-pack in one sitting, but losing 3 pounds in a day nearly kills you. Skin dangling off bones, you look...
Yo, these pictures are some actually insane cuts. Like for you to look like this is actually like very bad for you. Like, you can see like even your like eyes or like the fat around your eyes is just like going in because you're just so dehydrated. I don't know how people can cut that much weight, like 20 to like 25 pounds, because there's some people that have to cut like 40 pounds throughout 8 weeks for you to be able to fight, and I don't know how they do it because no, that's just insane. Like just imagine holding that 40-pound dumbbell and just like, oh yeah, this much weight is in your body. And I actually want to show you guys how much is like 5 pounds of fat versus 5 pounds of muscle. Pounds of fat versus muscle. Let's look at that. So this is 5 pounds of fat, and this is 5 pounds of muscle. Like, the difference in size is absolutely insane. Like, look at that. That's like 5 pounds. That means that all that in your belly you had to cut. So just imagine like 40. Like, you were taking every single ounce of fat inside your body to cut that. And that is Oh wait, I'm not even showing you guys. Hold up. Nope. There you go. There you go. Let me say that again. So this is 5 pounds of fat. This 5 pounds of. No, this is 5 pounds of fat. This is 5 pounds of muscle, and just compared to like how much is inside your body. Like this is fat, this tissue right here, and muscle. This thing over here. And it's insane how much you have to cut in order for you to be able to fight. Like you're taking like an ounce of fat out of not only a part, but like your entire body, just for you to be able to fight. And that is insane how fighters do that. And they just do so casually too. So yeah.
Look like featherweight McGregor. Then you climb on the scale.
Just look at him.
And it's still too heavy.
Look at his eyes.
So now, not only are you not sleeping, you're not eating. The pre-fight press conference rolls around. You're sitting at the end of a long table where nobody can even see you because you're in the undercard. Meanwhile, you look like a deflated balloon shoved into a suit. And you still have to be loud, edgy, and land the right joke. But you always run the risk of someone humiliating you on the mic.
Who the f is that guy?
On weigh-in day, you're surrounded by theatrics and stare-downs. Then, you pose for the stage and inhale that strong deodorant smell that makes you question everything. The crowd's hyped while you're sleep-deprived. Media obligations. Sponsors want you at events. Brands want content, photos, reels. So after training rivers of sweat and rounds of punishment, you stand in a polo shirt and smile like you're posing for a YouTube thumbnail. Friends ask if you had a good weekend. You say, yeah, even though you vomited in a locker room with 40 other men. And then, fight night arrives. Legends like GSP have admitted they went into fights terrified.
I needed to go take that walk and fight in the octagon, but I hated it. I despised it. I never liked it. I never enjoyed it a second.
You stage your walk like you're in a music video.
Dude, I don't know if anyone here has like fought before, but dude, that feeling when you're about to fight and it's like your first fight, the nervousness that you get is to like a completely different level. Like, no, there's like nothing that has made me more nervous, or like I've felt more nervous in my life than having like a first match. Because I know that the whole thing about like having a first match and that you have trained for is that it all comes down to what you do during your match. And then you see your opponent like literally like right next to you that you know you're gonna fight, and he's honestly probably feeling the same way. But I don't know. Once you get down to it, after like middle fighting, it just goes away, and you're like, all right, I gotta beat this guy's ass, and he's probably trying to get me too. So that's the whole thing about it. It's just that you're both probably feeling scared. Not even like most champions. Like I'm pretty sure I've heard like Tom Aspinall say that he's actually also scared of like when he goes up to a ring, when like you feel those nervousness, but you know that once you get there, it just kind of like goes away after a while. But you just like walk there, knowing that this guy could like hurt you or like just beat you. It's like it just kind of gets to you. But yeah.
Your walkout music hits and you soak in the lights, roar, and mix of fear and adrenaline. You look epic, but internally you're thinking, did I overtrain? Will my legs give out faster than my phone battery? You step in the cage. Arena's rocking. Probably the only part that doesn't suck, because for a few minutes, you feel like a badass. You catch a glimpse of the referee, the man with the power to end you. The cage door slams. The bell rings. Two dudes in a sweaty nightmare. Round one. You jab. He counters. You level change for a takedown and he sprawls harder than a panic-stricken cat. Every breath is a chore. You hit the gas, but your tank is red. During round two, your vision flickers like old late-night TV. You can barely hear what your coach is telling you because there's thousands of people screaming. Maybe you get a torn MCL from stepping in deep or a detached retina from a stray elbow. Just another Saturday. If you finish someone, you get a bonus, but that's one win in a sea of pain. Worst case scenario, you get your lights turned off and leave with foggy vision. You exit right into medical check. If you're lucky, you get a bag of ice. You'll hobble to some physio clinic with fluorescent lights and smell like bleach greeting the receptionist for the third time this month. But you're already thinking about the next camp, because what else are you gonna do? You walk out alive, broke, get in the car, hoping you still have a deal left. but your bed is still busted, and your fridge is still empty. And then the cycle repeats.
2025 IRS tax forgiveness now has open enrollment.
No.
It's easy to qualify.
Diet, training, weight cut, fight. Win or lose, everyone expects charisma during your post-fight interview. You're exhausted. You sound like you've just had a 15-minute fight, and they still want catchphrase energy.
The fight obviously stopped in a horrible way. Give us your thoughts on how it was going.
Reporters ecstatically shout, "Tell me how you feel." And you have to politely answer instead of telling them what you really want. Shut up and let me take a nap. If you lose, the internet will rip you apart. Social media is ruthless. People love jokes. They'll mock your hairstyle, Photoshop your face on YouTube fails. You're left doom scrolling in negativity, and it hurts more than cardio. Press conferences? You're grilled like a steak. What went wrong, champ? Like he didn't lose 50 pounds to lie face down in mats. And after the fight, they send you home with a t-shirt, a pat on the back, and enough unanswered texts to fill a small novel. And mentally, you're living on a tightrope. Anxiety soars. Sleep is terrible. Every bout leaves mental residue. Time out from stress, weight, crap. Post-camp blues is real. You crash, no adrenaline, no tasks, no structure. You feel lost. In Volk's words, keep them busy.
I just ask the UFC to, just keep me busy, because, I need to be keeping busy. I need to be in camp, otherwise.
People tell you to enjoy life, but 2 years of training doesn't vanish overnight. Your brain's still in fight mode. A lot of fighters are still working a side gig just to pay rent because sponsorships dried up. Your fridge sounds like tumbleweed rolling in an abandoned western. You're hyped about handling sponsor deals until they ask for results. This life ain't just cage glory and title shots.
Dude, the amount of fighters that actually make it to the top compared to like how many even try to get there is absolutely very small, because it is just so hard to go through like so many weeks of training leading to a camp. And it's not that you only have to go through one. You have to get like at the very least be like a champion in like an outside organization, like a small organization for fighting. And you have to be like a constant winner for you to be able to get to the UFC. And just that road, like how much money you get like to get there, it's just so small. Like you get like probably like a title shot for like a small organization will give you like probably like, I don't know what, $3,000-$5,000. It's just completely different when you get to the UFC. It's like, you obviously get paid more, but it really depends on how you perform. If you're like winning your matches, because let's say you get to the UFC, like you're at the very top of like your outside competitions, or your small organization for fighting, but then you get to the UFC and you lose 3 times in a row. Like there's very small chance that you're getting called again by the UFC because you lost 3 times. And if you do get cut from the UFC, then you have to go back and be a champion, like undisputed champion for like, I don't know, let's say like 6 fights. You just go back to back to back to back to back to back 6, which going 6 fights can take like 2-3 years for professionals. So it is insane how much people actually make it, because it also like people train for like over a decade for them to even be considered to be able to get into the UFC. Like for you to get a purple belt in like jiu-jitsu, that alone is like 4 or 5 years, around there. And that's to me, you can do it faster, of course, but like there's a lot of like details for you to be able to like rank up to purple belt. And even the black belt is like 12 years, which is insane. Some people take way longer, some people do like a shorter time, but it's just honestly just insane.
Sometimes it's payday sadness and broken dreams in Venmo requests. The average UFC fighter earns $12,000 to show and $12,000 to win. That's before taxes, gym fees, and managers take their cut. And when your body breaks down, there's no pension or long-term health care, just pain pills. Fighters sign exclusive contracts. The UFC owns their likeness, rankings, and life. They can't compete elsewhere, demand better terms, or even wear their own sponsors without UFC's permission. The same organization that profits off their pain controls their career. Some people think fighters are rich because they see Conor and Izzy driving sports cars. Unless you're headlining MSG, you're probably fighting for pennies, taxes, management fees, coaches, gym rent, gear, and the massage therapist who doubles as your emotional support during camp. Some prelim fighters get paid like they're bagging groceries part-time. They'll win, thank God, their coach, and Uber Eats, because they were still delivering those burgers during fight week. Sponsors sign you until you lose. Then they ghost you faster than my last Tinder date. You're scrambling again, slapping logos on shorts with no check rolling in. One day, your DMs are full. The next one, you're being ignored by the UFC matchmakers. You're famous enough for strangers to yell your name at Target, but not enough to buy a used car. Most fighters are recognized more than they're compensated, like being a local TikTok star but still living with your mom. 1 month, they'll tell you you're an inspiration. The next, they're commenting washed on your highlight reel. If you win, you get a payday that might not always cover your rent for the month. If you lose, say goodbye to training partners and sponsors. You're back to coaching kid classes, trying to explain that you're qualified, even though they watched you get your lights turned off on TV not too long ago.
Oh my God.
Unless you're an Irish unicorn, you're scraping by. Paid like a teacher, but training like you're serving tours overseas. MMA doesn't do 5-year contracts with guaranteed cash. You lose 2 or 3 in a row, the UFC sends you a breakup text like, "It's not us, it's you."
As a therapist myself, I know how important it is to be able to have someone that you can talk to about your problems, to bounce ideas off of.
Dude, that's actually what I was just saying. If you lose 3 fights in a row or 4 fights in a row, if you even make it to 5 fights and you lose all 5 of them, you're getting cut. Like all those years of training just to get to the big leagues and just gone. You're never training again. Like for you to get back afterwards, it's gonna take like 5 years to try to get back, and by then you'll probably be like already old as shit. So I remember I had this one guy that I knew. He went to the Dana White Contender Series, got the lights knocked out of him, and then just I don't know what happened to him, but I don't think he's getting called by the UFC, which is crazy because he was such a good fighter. Like he would fuck up many people by a long shot. Like this guy was like just unbeatable, but at that level, going against people who are also unbeatable, like you really get tested. And yeah, he got pretty much tested and put to sleep. But hey, hopefully he does better. I don't know where he is now, but hope he's still around.
Imagine training your whole life, making it to the top, losing a razor-close decision. And now you're at a PFL tryout, wondering if you should start a YouTube channel. No severance or pension, just CTE and a LinkedIn update. Then there's promotions. They treat you like raw comedy. 1 week, you're the future. The next, you're disposable. You're a pay-per-view building block. And then they repurpose you in highlight reels when the next hype train rolls in. Sometimes you get pulled because someone couldn't make weight or failed a test. And suddenly you're facing someone you didn't prepare for. The crowd's cheering. But the broadcast is letting people at home know your chances are slim to none. And you're left wondering if you're a fighter or just filler. In MMA, you can be cut for almost anything. Lose a bout? Cut. Speak out against the promotion? Cut. Ask for more money? Definitely cut. Elias Theodorou, who was winning and marketable, was dropped anyway. Why? He didn't play the game. You're not just fighting opponents. You're fighting the system. The UFC makes billions, but fighters get scraps. Unlike the NFL, NBA, or NHL, there's no unions in MMA. Dana White has called them stupid, and fighters who try to organize are blacklisted. And it's not just the UFC. Bellator, PFL 1. Every promotion does the same. The fighter is always expendable and told to be grateful. And when you get back, you're old, washed up, and the sport's moved on. You've peaked, and everybody knows it. Social media is filled with remixes of your failures. Randoms call you washed.
Yo, the amount of like TikToks that I saw once recently happened when it was Ilia Topuria against Charles Oliveira, the amount of TikToks that I saw online as soon as like after it happened, like literally within half an hour, like half of my For You page was just straight Oliveira getting knocked out, and just like a bunch of memes like being made about him, and it was just sad because he's such a good fighter that like seeing that happen was just like so like it was just so sad. But also hats off to Ilia Topuria. He did his shit. He came in and followed through with it. He really knocked him out, but it's part of the game.
Train for years, make sacrifices, and then you get cut. Maybe you finally make it, only to be KO'd by some Dagestani on 10 days' notice. And you still gotta smile at the post-fight presser like you're not seeing double. NFL careers are short, but MMA fighters age in dog years. One bad injury, and you're done. One viral KO, and you're a meme. Most retire broke, bitter, or selling supplements on Instagram. And if you're Paige Van Zandt, you can always just rely on the platform that shall not be named to pay the bills. Even if you make it, all that's left is CTE, broken knees, and broken marriages. Being an MMA fighter sucks, but most of them wouldn't change it, because in that tiny window, under those lights, they feel alive. Reality bites hard, but the feeling of winning your moment is worth the scars. When it goes right, it's poetry, but most days, it's garbage.
I love the video. I really like that video. It's way better than the one that we were seeing before, but yeah. Let's see how this goes. Hold up. Let's try something. F1. Oh. So that is stop recording. Let's try something else. Hold up. Oh, it did. Perfect. Alright, so I think I'm gonna stop streaming for today. Yeah, man. I think that's gonna be it for me.